So I don't want to take a ton of time on this, but I do want to talk about the Patrick Surtain extension. It did happen a couple of days ago, but I didn't have this thought in my head until I really thought about it last night before I went to bed. Patrick Surtain is the best corner in the NFL, bar none. You can argue Sauce Gardner, that's fine. You can argue another guy. My personal preference is Patrick Surtain. And Patrick Surtain got a 4-year, $96 million record-breaking extension the other day at basically $22, $24 million a year. And it really got me thinking. In an NFL with an increasing supply of wide receivers, where every year we get an elite wide receiver, the guy T-Mac from the University of Arizona might be the next Marvin Harrison Jr. this year. Marvin Harrison Jr. came out the year prior. We've had Jamar Chase's. We've had Justin Jefferson's come out. Finding a wide receiver has literally never been easier in the NFL. Every team has two. Every team minimum has two fine wide receivers. Some teams, you could argue, have 2 ones. T. Higgins, Jamar Chase. You could argue 2 teams have a 1 and a very high-end 2. A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith. The Arizona Cardinals, I believe they have that as well. Michael Wilson, Marvin Harrison Jr. It's never been easier to find a wide receiver in the NFL. It's never been easier. So why are we allocating so much money to the wide receiver position? It's almost like the running back market. Every year it's rinse and replace. You don't have to pay a running back anymore. You can use him, abuse him, and then lose him and bring in another guy. Save the money. I'm not advocating for anyone to lose their job early or guys not to get paid. It's just a question. Justin Jefferson is making $40 million a year. Justin Jefferson's awesome. Justin Jefferson's an elite wide receiver. Justin Jefferson is quite possibly one of the best players in the NFL. But in a cornerback position where, count on your hand, can you name five elite shutdown corners? Because I can name 5 elite do-it-all wide receivers. The supply and demand says the cornerbacks should be getting paid a ton, not the wide receivers. Patrick Surtain is a shutdown cornerback, can shut down any wide receiver in the NFL, and is making $15 million less a year than Justin Jefferson. I'm going to say the hot take out loud. I believe the wide receiver market is about to implode on itself. I believe people and teams are going to see, franchises and general managers alike, are going to see you can find wide receivers kind of anywhere. Every team's got 1. Every team's got 2. Some teams even have 3 wide receivers they like. Almost no team outside of the New York Jets have 2 corners that they feel great about. So why is the cornerback market not exploding like the wide receiver market? And here's the quiet part out loud that I've been dancing around. I would much rather have Patrick Surtain, who could take out any wide receiver in any game because he is the bona fide number 1 best cornerback in the NFL at $24, $23 million a year than I would any wide receiver in the NFL. I'd rather have Patrick Surtain at $24 million a year than Brandon Ayuk at $30 million a year, or CeeDee Lamb at $34 million a year, or maybe even Justin Jefferson at $40 million a year. It is insane to me how, yes, in a consistently changing league that definitely leans offense, that teams are consistently willing to pay wide receivers $40 million a year, and Jamar Chase will probably get more than that. It's crazy to me that is the threshold. Wide receivers get a ton of money, but you can kind of find a wide receiver in every draft. You can find a wide receiver everywhere. They're always on the market. You can trade for one. A.J. Brown's been traded. DeAndre Hopkins been traded. You can trade for wide receivers. They're on the wide receiver market. Christian Kirk was just signed. It's not hard. Try to find a cornerback. Try to find a team with 2 shutdown corners not named the New York Jets. And I wouldn't even argue they have 2 shutdowns. They have 1 shutdown and 1 pretty good guy. It doesn't make sense to me. I would much rather have Patrick Surtain on the contract he's on, almost $15 million a year less than Justin Jefferson, or $10 million a year less than CeeDee Lamb, or $5 million a year less than Brandon Ayuk. Because wide receivers are everywhere. You can find them anywhere. Every team, even the bad teams, have one that they like at least. The Panthers were awful last year. They had Adam Thielen last year, who was fine. He's a good wide receiver. He's maybe not elite. He's maybe not amazing like he used to be, but he's fine. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Chris Godwin, Mike Evans. The Falcons, Drake London. They signed Darnell Mooney, who Bears fans have been telling me is amazing. It's so strange to me how the wide receiver market has just done this, and the cornerback market has not reciprocated that for a league that has gotten more offensive driven, which makes the defensive side of the ball that much more important to hold teams under 50 points. It's crazy to me that Patrick Surtain, a shutdown corner, is getting $24 million a year. And it's where I believe the money should be allocated to on teams. I believe teams should prioritize the cornerback position over the wide receiver position. Because cornerbacks, you can't find them anywhere. Every draft, you're like, I hope this is the right guy. But you have to wait a year because there's a learning curve. Because the NFL's too fast and wide receivers are too good. I don't get it. I don't get it. I understand. I'm not going to knock anyone for paying $40 million a year for Justin Jefferson, a guy who's amazing. But Patrick Surtain, I mean, he's fantastic. And not getting paid near the money of what even Brandon Ayuk is getting. It's insanity. It's crazy. And I will continue to question why the cornerback market and the cornerbacks as a whole are not being prioritized as much in the NFL as they used to be.